Hello, I'm Malcolm Haslett. If you love fishing, have we got some guests for you? Coming up next on OurTime. I can't say I've ever been a fisher person, man, or whatever the correct title is, but have a look at this.
Shut up and sit down.
Is that you?
They were out on the ocean, but now they're here. Hello, Jules. Hello, Skipper Tracey.
Hello, Malcolm.
Is Skipper Tracey anything like, the island with the 3-hour cruise that got caught?
No.
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 Glad to hear that.
No, it's just
you
a quick
know where you're
bloodbath
going.
with us.
I'm pleased. Girls, I'm delighted to have you on the program because it's such an unusual thing that you've both done. How did it come about?
Well, I suppose I could start the story. I've always fished. I grew up with brothers only.
Now, I did notice that you'd fished.
Yes.
Not fished, you'd fished.
Us Kiwi girls, we can do everything.
Oh, right. Okay.
But yeah, look, I've been in Australia. I consider myself Australian. I've been here since 1986.
You never lose it. You never lose it.
Well, it's worse now because the family all have FaceTime. So they FaceTime you every week and you go from no accent to sounding like you just got off a flight.
I understand. So you've always fished.
I have always fished. I grew up with my dad and brothers. So I can shoot, I can fix a car, I can do all of that stuff as well. But fishing's always been something I've really loved. And my oldest daughter and myself have spent like her whole life and my whole life fishing. It's what we do.
Right. And Jules, how did you begin being a... Now, what is it? What's the correct thing to say? Is it fisherwoman, fisher-person, fisher...
I don't know, what's the
Angler.
correct...
We are anglers.
There you
Show
go.
off.
I just fish.
You just fish.
I'm just happy to fish.
How did you start fishing?
Well, just while I was travelling, every time I travel somewhere, there's, lots of good fishing to do, and it's always good to...
So you look for the place that's got the fish if you're going to travel?
Well, I travel a lot overseas, and so whenever I travel, I like to go somewhere...
Overseas as in to Kangaroo Island or to... Is
No,
it that sort
like
of overseas because
Costa
you're fishing...
Rica or Mexico.
Oh, yeah,
or
I just wanted to sort
Vietnam.
Yeah, right.
Not at the moment, though.
No, funny about that. So, and this is really what led to the program, isn't it? Because during COVID, you were thinking, what are we going to do with ourselves? Is that how it happened?
Yeah, well, if I could take you on a little bit of a journey.
Take me.
Let us take you away with us. So 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. And at that point, it was like, so what? Who cares? I was in a high-pressure, white-collar professional job.
Right.
And I didn't sleep for 2 years with the GFC. I was a financial planner, and I got sick. And, so I ended up with kidney cancer. And at that point, we had to make some choices. And I had refused chemo. I thought, that's not an option. Take it out. Oh, if I'm done, I'm done. There's plenty of insurance. I'm hating my life. I'm just working all these hours for everybody else to have a cool life. And you know what? If I get spare time, I do the housework. It's like, this isn't working, And I had a boat at that time as well. So hubby said, well, what is it that you want to do, Trace? I was like, I just want to go fishing. He went, well, sell the business and go fishing, which is exactly what I did. But it had a handicap. No working, no money.
Oh, yes, well, there's
so
that.
the fishing...
Couldn't you sell the fish?
No, we can't do that. We're only recreational anglers.
Oh, okay.
So from there it was like, I wonder what other like-minded girls there are out there that like fishing. And I'd done a little bit of a bucket list of fishing, and one of those was a women's tournament in Cairns, which is where I met Jules and her friend Leah. So we were kind of the first of the Just a Girl crew. So we now have, what have we got all together, about 7 or 8?
Yeah, something like that.
And
So Just a Girl came from because you're Just Girls Fishing?
Just Girls Fishing. Look,
I know it's obvious, but...
we've had the odd bloke on the boat, but they won't stop playing with my electronics, and I get a bit
How
tetchy.
dare they? Heavens. Is that being able to see what's under the water, electronics?
Anything electronic,
anything.
They have fingers. They just like to poke everything, don't they, Jules?
And you don't?
No, they don't
You
touch
just
my
like
electronics.
So can we just go back to the cancer though? Because clearly in your positive thinking, things have changed.
Things have really changed. Just a Girl was pretty much a full-time job for me these days. We've got some awesome sponsors, and we don't take the money and run. I love working for our sponsors, and we always are very sponsor conscious.
Well, first of all, we should just explain Just a Girl is a TV program.
It is. Get hooked with Team Just a Girl is the TV show.
And the Team Just a Girl is a group of women who all love fishing.
Yep.
And they sporadically appear on the program fishing?
Yeah, so Jules and I are pretty much a constant because without me the boat doesn't go. So I'm
Because
the
you're
lucky
the skipper.
one. I'm the skipper.
And I'm the entertainment. Everyone just laughs
yes,
at me.
we need to talk about this entertainment part of you in your lovely thongs with your perfectly painted toenails,
Oh, yes.
which I love, because that's really a fishing outfit, isn't it?
Well, that is the fishing outfit. That's why I wore my jandals, as the Kiwis would say.
Put them up on the table so we can actually see them. Look at that.
I've only got those jandals as well, and Jules and I are the same size, so we run into trouble on the boat because actually mine are one size up, and Jules puts mine on and she gets on a fish and she slips right across the deck. It's like...
But this is not what you do professionally, is it?
No,
What do you do professionally, Jules?
I'm a clinical psychologist.
Of course you are.
So this is my downtime. This is my,
How does fishing and that go together? It is just the escape?
no, because I'm a little bit competitive.
Oh, okay.
Only a little bit, mind you.
Just a little bit.
So I love catching new fish. I love catching big fish.
You sound like a Kiwi.
That's because I've been hanging around
Big
you too
fish.
much.
Yes, it's the fish.
Sharks. I love the sharks.
Now, but you can't eat them all and
Why
you
not?
can't sell them.
No.
So what do you do with them?
Well, science. We do a little bit of science.
We predominantly chase southern bluefin tuna, and we
Right.
tag and release. So very, very few fish or tuna get killed by us. Just on a bit of a rough count, we would tag 100 tuna a season would be pretty fair.
least, yeah.
Yeah, at
And the
least
tagging is done for what purpose?
for science.
Yep.
So we tag a fish. It goes off with a little yellow tag with a number on it.
Right.
And we fill in a corresponding card with where we caught it, when, how, and all that sort of stuff, in the hope that whoever catches that fish next will take that tag and put their own tag in it, but they'll measure that fish and they'll send those details off to fisheries.
Right. So somebody catching the fish would know this is already
Yes.
being tracked and we're just contributing to the
science.
information.
Yeah, so we'll know
Right.
how far it's swum, whether it's still in the same place,
Right.
what its growth has been like. So you're going to be pretty good on your measurements.
How many other fish it's eaten?
Yeah, it's easier for us girls because we know what measurements are proper ones, whereas we don't exaggerate on our size.
Listen, I love this because your program has this lovely sort of sense of adventure and humour at the same time. Mm-hmm. And you have a lovely sense of humour at the same time.
A little bit dry at times.
Out
But I
on the
do love
water,
to
all that
dance. You
water.
will see that I love to dance on the boat
Yes.
even.
On the boat even.
The best dancing one we had was Jules was actually standing up on the gunnels, which is the side of the boat. And this is in the middle of winter down at Port Macdonald. And she's standing there looking over top of the boat, over the bow, looking for schools of tuna because you can see them in the water, all the birds diving.
yeah.
And so that's how we know where the tuna are. So as she's hopped down, she actually fell over, flat bang on her bum, and she turned it into a break dance. So she went round 3 times, and I edited it, of course, with some breakdancing music, and we did like 20 spins, and they got faster and faster. So that's Jules.
Well, now that's interesting because you're just shooting wild footage.
Yes.
And then having to compile that into something that's got a cohesive sort of follow the story
Yes.
deal to it. Where did you learn to do this?
I Googled it the first month of COVID. So we went and brought some old GoPros, and we've got 5 old GoPros now. We've got a 3, which we use as our underwater camera, because that was cheap, and if we lose it, we won't cry too much. And the others
But you've
are all...
got some great shots, some really great shots.
Getting there.
Yeah, fantastic.
We're trying to do different angles now, but we tried a new angle on the weekend and we got a lot of fishing net and no fish, so that angle's gone.
That's a pity. I've interviewed on this program people like Rodney Fox.
Okay.
And his interest in, keeping more information about sharks, even though they bit him really badly, and I believe you've had a...
Yes, I got bitten. Just a wee little scar still, but yes, that's on the program.
Did you drag your fingers in the water?
No, I'm actually lucky I didn't lose my hand.
I'm going to ask you more about this. We've got to take a break. We'll find out about in a tick. We'll be back. Tracey and Jules are our very special guests. This time on Our Time, I'm looking at your hands where the shark bit you. How did you get it to release?
Oh, well, actually, it just nicked me. Otherwise, I might have lost my whole hand.
How big was the shark?
It was a 40-kilo mako, and they've got really sharp teeth. They're the sharks that jump out of the water and dance. Oh, a bit like me. Dance.
But truth be known, I think Jules actually put her hand in its mouth.
Yeah, right.
It was one mess after another, and we didn't even realise until
But
we saw
you
the
got
footage.
this. You shot it.
Yeah,
you
we
actually
did.
got
We
it.
did.
Yeah, you should see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on the intro.
Exactly. So now you've made how many episodes so far?
So we've gone to air with series 1. We've got 6 episodes, and they are being replayed as we speak.
Yes.
And we are halfway through filming series 2.
Now, how important has community television been to you to be able to do this?
It's been awesome because otherwise it would have just gone on a YouTube channel and maybe not even seen. But it's been like, I know this sounds a bit facetious, but we can't go anywhere. We go to the caravan park. And
Wearing your pink shirts, you're obvious.
And we get accosted by all these young men these days. Hey, Jules, it's awesome.
Are they anglers too, or are they angling for something else?
No, they're only angling for fishing tips and GPS spots.
Fishing tips?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they want our marks.
Now, I see people fishing off a jetty, but that's not what you're doing. You're really getting out on the ocean where it can be quite rough and rainy and unpleasant.
Yep.
We only worry about the wind. So the rough and the rain doesn't matter.
Doesn't it?
No, but it's the wind that we have a problem with.
Right. And why is that? Because it'll blow you off? Literally? Is that how you got the red hair?
No. No, so what it does is it brings a swell up. So,
Yes.
and we fish a lot.
Do fish come up with the swell, or they're not there? Or are they wise enough to dive?
I usually lose half a crew with seasickness when we get
do
big
you?
swells. Not Jules or
Not
I.
me.
We're as good as gold.
No, I've been in some pretty rough weather and I don't get seasick either. And I keep thinking, is it just weird that you don't get seasick?
I don't know.
Or
I
is it
think,
the people that get seasick?
you know why we don't get seasick? Because really, we're mermaids. We are supposed
I think
to
I've
be
heard
on
that
the
story.
water.
So who did you kiss to turn into a legged person? Are you kissing fish and throwing them back? Is this what it is?
I can't tell. I have to kill you.
But no, look, we're both better off on the water than we are on land, I think.
So your partners, what do they feel about this? Are they fisher people too? Anglers too?
No.
No?
We
We do get in a little bit of trouble because we're hardly ever home these days.
But do you bring fish home to eat? That's
We
Yeah.
do. We
Yeah.
do. We I think Jules' husband Richard gets really sick, but he will come out every now and again and do some filming for us.
Oh, it's not checking up to see where
No,
you're
no,
actually
no.
taking the
And-
boat.
And
No, he
sometimes-
comes out to spend a bit of quality time with me.
That's what he thinks.
and you're breakdancing while picking up
No,
fish.
he's good value. He's really supportive. He's good.
He'll be like my husband eventually, and it's probably not that far away. But Kev and I have been married for, must be, 38, 40 years, and I've always fished, so he just likes me gone. The kids go, hey, Dad, when's Mum coming home? And he says, Go check the weather forecast when it blows up.
Now that's interesting because do you constantly check what the
Yes.
weather's going to
Oh
be?
yeah,
Several times a
the
day.
day.
Oh, okay.
And then we ring each other. It's looking good.
So, what are the best conditions? Obviously, when it's calm.
It doesn't have to be calm, but something like 5 to 10 knot winds,
Okay.
a couple of metres swell.
How does that affect the fish? Like, if it's smooth and calm, do they sort of come higher up, or do you drop your baits lower down, or?
Tuna are way easier
I have
to
no
see.
idea about fishing, as is fairly obvious. Apart from the
Clearly.
aquarium at home.
Well, tuna are easy to see if it's a flat day because you can actually, they flutter on top of the water.
Right.
So you
I
can
have
actually
seen
see
that.
them,
Yep.
which makes fishing easy. Doesn't mean you're going to catch them.
No.
But you can see them, so that makes it easier.
Doesn't it bother you when they come out of the water and they're doing their little eyes are going bug-eyed?
Eh?
You don't
We
see
put a
you
little
don't see
cloth over their
Yeah,
eyes.
Do you now?
We're very gentle with our fish.
Humane.
Yeah.
And you should see her. She's like the tuna whisperer.
Yeah.
She picks up, like the tuna's going like this, and then
Yes.
she'll pick it up and it'll just go.
And I just hold it
In
and I
her
just go,
arms.
come on, and settle, and it does.
She's amazing.
So Jules just
They just know.
Jules just whacks a tag into it and throws it overboard, and
How did we
we're all
meet
good.
these two? That's all I want to know. So, do you have a favourite fish to catch?
Yeah, tuna.
Tuna.
It's tuna.
Well-
But do you eat them?
No.
You don't
Oh,
like tuna?
If we
Sashimi.
if we hurt one, because every now and again they sometimes throw a tanty and we can't get to them quick enough,
Yep.
and they bleed themselves out in like 3 seconds. They just
Right.
if they start to bleed and we don't chuck them back, we'll bleed that one and take it home and we'll have some sashimi.
Because we do like
raw.
them. We really care for them.
Yeah, but you care to eat them raw.
Oh, yes.
You can't cook tuna.
Really?
Well, you might
Well-
as well just go and buy a can of it if you're going to cook
A
it.
lot of people like tuna. We only like it raw.
And what's the difference? Well, obviously one's cooked, but what are you looking for? Is it flavour? Is it texture? What are you looking for?
Well, it's probably both actually. The texture's really good if it's been iced down real fast.
But it's a stupid question, I know, because the Japanese eat it all the time, but
I should have brought some in for you. We've got a little bit in the fridge from the
I'm
weekend.
sure I've eaten, but but it's raw. Are you not concerned that it may be carrying a bug or something that cooking would change, or
No.
if it's a healthy fish?
No, if it's a healthy fish. Every now and again you'll get one that's got little worms or parasites in it. But
Oh, really?
I don't think we've had one, have we? But other people have.
Well, you can tell when you fillet it, and so we just don't eat them.
Bait.
Bait. And that was my next question. What do you
Yeah.
use for bait? Is it varying for everything, or
Well, we use
do you make your own lures?
Yeah,
and
we use lures and skirts for tuna fishing because we troll for
that's
those.
for the girls' fish. That's
Yeah,
the girl,
yeah, pink skirts.
female
we got
fish.
Pink skirts.
For the feed, right?
And we've got pink lures, and they do really well too.
Do they really?
Yeah, ask the guys, even they like the pink stuff. It's like, yeah. So,
I've talked to some amazingly interesting people, but I think you have probably the most interesting story.
I tell you what, though, one of the first fishing trips I went out with Skipper.
The fish and chips.
No,
fishing
that was
clips.
Kerry with the Mako. But one of the first trips I went out, and I was trying to get the fish into the net, and the hook got caught on the outside of the net, and I thought, holy crap, I've got to get this fish in. And the boat went slightly down with the water, and I went in and under, and I just went straight through, and I just hooked up this fish in my arms straight out of the water and put it in the boat.
and you know what? We fished a comp the year after that, and we had the same situation, and Jules went, get out of the way. She leant over, she plucked this fish out, chucked it on the deck and said, you know why I did that? Because I knew I could.
That's how I roll.
That's really funny, though. Well, it's just really funny. I'm very amused by that. Is this going to be like a whole lifetime thing, do you think?
It is for me.
It's a passion that's going to last you when
Yep.
you're in the
Yes,
wheelchair?
we have some serious plans.
Yes.
We're going to travel around Australia.
Oh, and you just mentioned a competition. So have you been involved in a lot of those? Is this
We fish all the South Australian competitions.
right?
So
Is this how you meet other Juster girls?
sometimes we do a lot of the boat shows and stuff like that as well.
Oh, right, okay.
Because we've got sponsors in that industry, when they have a boat show, we go along to support our sponsors as well. People always come up, they're always good to have a chat. We love chatting to people about fishing. If we're not chatting about fishing, we're
Not chatting. Yes.
We're fishing.
We're fishing.
But you're also consulting. So
yes,
how much of the calm that fishing gives you, or the pleasure, comes into that consulting? Do you suggest to patients
if
go
I look
fishing?
after me, then I can look after them, right? And so when I'm on the water, there's no reception, there's no nothing. You're just there. You're completely present. It's
And
nice.
that's a little flotsam and jetsam on the water that lets your brain just go.
Yeah, it's great.
We go
I'm
away for
alive.
a week and we don't even know any news.
No, that's true.
We've got our own thing
I think
happening.
you're right about the need for humans to actually turn off.
Yeah,
That's very
yeah,
true, isn't it?
yeah.
Yep.
Just to be alone somewhere and without having the phone ringing or people that you don't particularly want to have to deal with you. It's magic. I understand what you're saying.
It's hard work though, isn't it? Like we're up before daylight
4 o'clock.
and then we're on the water and then we fish all day and then we get back, it's dark. We're always the last boat in. And then we have to fill it, we have to clean, we have to fix rods and reels and lines and then...
It's got to be a passion.
Then we do it again the next
Then we
day.
do it again.
But you're right, it's a passion, isn't it?
It is
Oh,
a
yeah.
passion.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, there is a very serious side to Team Just a Girl as well, Malcolm. And
Well, hold that thought and we'll be back to find out what that is in a moment. Tracey and Jules are our very special guests, and what I've been impressed with is the fact that you finish each other's sentences and often think and say almost the same thing at the same time. You've obviously found this is something you've got together. What is it?
we share a brain.
Yes, but we are very different. Actually, probably wouldn't be friends if it wasn't for the fishing because we are just so different.
You know the cabin in the boat is a no skip zone. I'm not allowed in there because
No.
she's OCD.
And she's just a mess. Like I'm always cleaning up after
Oh, messy.
her.
She's messy.
Oh, she picks something up, she puts it down where she is. It has a spot. You put it back where it goes.
Now, hear that.
Now, Jules is so OCD that when she gives me a chocolate bar, she takes a wrapper off in case I put the wrapper not in the rubbish bin.
Do you know how much mess she makes?
Well, I'm starting to get a
can't
feeling
find
here.
anything.
I'm getting a feeling here. And yet you're the bestest.
Oh, yes.
Read each other's minds.
Yeah.
Know you're going to ring each other.
Yeah, she
Both
shares-
got phones in your hand at the same time
Yeah.
We share a brain.
and talk together every day.
I turn around and say, oh, Skip, can you? And she's already done it. And vice versa.
It makes you wonder if you knew each other in another life.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe we're the same person in another life.
Or maybe we were partners
fish.
in a previous life. We sleep together on the boat.
Well, we're getting to some very interesting areas here. Girls, your program is running on community television. You're now making a second series, and I would recommend that you go out and have a look at that, or don't go out, watch it on the screen. Do you think this is going to be a long-term project for you both?
I think it's a to death do us part.
It's a lifestyle.
Look, I'm fascinated to hear more from these girls, and as you may be too. So catch their show called
Get hooked.
Look, with Team Just a Girl.
on Channel 44 and 31 in Melbourne. It's been great to have your company in this show. You've been just hysterical. I love you both. Love you too. See you next time on OurTime. Keep yourself nice till then.
One of the things with which I was going to say to you about was about Just a Girl's real side. Do you know how many women we've helped grow? We've helped them
Doesn't
find
surprise me.
courage. You know, the first thing we teach them is to reverse the boat down the boat ramp. And some of them, like Rose, not long ago, learned how to do that. And she got out and she says, "It's straight. I haven't felt this great since I had my kids." You know.